Experiment 520 is the 520th genetic experiment created by Jumbo with Hamsco's funding. It was designed to turn bodies of water into huge, destructive waves and tsunamis. 520 and the other first 624 experiments were deactivated and smuggled to Earth by Jumbo during his mission to capture Experiment 626. All the experiment pods were released and scattered across the island of Kauai, with 520's pod landing in a bird's nest. Lilo and Stitch, the series. When a bird discovered 520's pod in its nest, it kicked out the pod, which landed in a nearby lake, activating the experiment. 520 then created a massive tsunami in the lake and began to casually make his way towards the ocean. While 520 evaded Gantu's clutches, the former passed to the Birds of Paradise Hotel, where he then created a tsunami for one of the pools that devastated much of the hotel. In the aftermath, 520 used the pool's diving board to propel himself up until he landed atop a palm tree, where Stitch incompetently catapulted him away, much to Lilo's discouragement. 520 later made his way to a reservoir while being pursued by Lilo and Stitch, but before he could cause a tsunami, Stitch fired a suction cup dart attached to a rope at 520's posterior and reeled him in. However, Gantu attacked and captured 520, who was almost stuffed into a net. Stitch battled Gantu and slipped a pineapple inside his net, thus leaving Gantu taking the net with the pineapple back to his ship, while 520 had been recaptured in a container. Lilo and Stitch then released 520, and after assuring him that they meant him no harm, the three rushed off to the beach for Lilo's sand sculpting competition. Stitch and 520 played contentedly until Gantu came by to try and capture 520 one more time, forcing Stitch to build a life-size sand fortress around himself, Lilo, and 520. When Gantu began to tear into the sandcastle, 520 jumped from the castle into the ocean. The latter created a massive tsunami that washed Gantu away to San Francisco while leaving the island perfectly intact. 520, christened Cannonball, later found his one true place making suitable waves for surfing. Elastigo. In the episode Elastigo, Cannonball reappeared as one of the audience members for Lilo's hula dance. Swirly. In Swirly, Cannonball made a cameo at the end where he slid into a children's wading pool. Houdini. In the episode Houdini, Cannonball was one of the audience members for Stitch's bungled magic act. Finder. In the episode Finder, Cannonball was seen playing poker with Stitch, Yin, Yang, and Richter. Dupe. In Dupe, Cannonball was one of the experiments that came to Lilo and Stitch's slumber party wearing traditional pajamas. However, he was forced by Pleakley to leave due to his destructive behavior. Angel. In the episode Angel, Cannonball was one of the experiments that Angel reverted to evil using her song. Later, Cannonball and the other depraved experiments attacked Stitch aboard a ship, but Angel turned them back to good before they could finish Stitch off. Working together, the experiments were then able to successfully escape the ship with Stitch. Felix. Cannonball made a brief appearance in Felix where he was destroying the beach with his tidal waves. He was eventually stopped by Stitch, and while Lilo convinced Cannonball to tone down his waves, Stitch cleaned up the beach. Checkers. Cannonball was one of the experiments in Checkers that joined Stitch in a rebellion against Gantu. Remy. In Remy, Cannonball was one of the experiments in Lilo's dream. Leroy and Stitch the movie. In the film's opening, Cannonball can be seen waving hello to Lilo along with Yin and Yang. He was also seen later in the movie making perfect waves for surfing as Lilo is making her rounds with Scrub to make sure all the experiments were happy in the one true place they belonged. Later, the first 624 experiments, including Cannonball, were rounded up by Leroy and taken to a stadium to be destroyed. However, Lilo, Stitch, Jumba, Pleakley, Reuben, and Gantu arrived before the experiments could be destroyed. Cannonball participated in the following battle between the Experiments and the Leroy clones by flattening and attacking Leroy with his butt. However, the Leroy soon gained the upper hand in the battle, but were defeated when Lilo, Stitch, Reuben, and several other Experiments performed the song Aloha Oi, which caused the Leroy army to shut down due to a failsafe mechanism. Special abilities. Naturally drawn to water, Cannonball can create a massive wave or tsunami from any body of water he jumps into. It is also shown that he can control the waves he creates. Bouncing around in his butt seems to be a more effective form of locomotion than walking. He can fight enemies by flattening them with his butt. Weaknesses. Cannonball is not particularly fast and is also shy and harmless.
I've never heard of that.
Trivia. Cannonball and Tickle Tummy are the only known experiments that mostly bounce when traversing land. Cannonball's pod color is blue. Cannonball's body appears in the online game Jumba's Lab. As far as we know, there has never been any official Cannonball merchandise released by Disney or any of its affiliates, besides for a small miniature figure. However, thanks to some wonderfully creative people at Etsy, we were able to have one custom made. If you enjoyed this video, please smash a like and subscribe to the channel for more Lilo and Stitch videos. And leave a comment down in the comment section with who is your favorite experiment and which one you would like to see us do next. Until next time, aloha!